Hello and welcome to the most recent 10-minute Texans talk. I'm James Roy, and the reason I've gathered you here today is the extension of Jalen Pitre. That is the big news, the big talk of the town on this Friday, the Friday news dump, if you will. Jalen Pitre, 3 years, $39 million base salary, up to $42 million, guaranteed. I believe $30 million was the number. 13 mil APY changes a lot. I think Texans cap said it's going to be viewed as 10 million by the team, roundabout. And it's the highest paid nickel cornerback, or I shouldn't say cornerback, nickel in the league. Don't really need to throw the cornerback in there. It's not Jalen Pitre. But Jalen Pitre is so much more than that, which is why right off the bat, anyone who's saying highest paid nickel, that's a lot of money for that guy. And it's like, based off the role he's going to be playing, it's spot on, and it's probably going to show not similar to Nico Collins, but like the Nico Collins deal did over time, probably show to be a better deal than people think as that market moves. And I mean, there's two schools of thought that you can look at this with. It's like, oh, the Texans moved, too early and took a big risk on a player that could prove not worth the deal. Or you could take it as the Texans are taking a page out of the playbook of really good teams and locking up their players early on, while before they hit the open market and it becomes a bidding war. I know that latter one might not make a lot of sense with putting him as the highest paid nickel on the market, but like I said, when you understand the role of star safety, it kind of contextualizes it. And just briefly, because I've done a little bit of reading on this and it's really an interesting topic to me, I've talked about it quite a bit this offseason. The star safety role, earliest origins, based off this article, it could be earlier, but I believe it originated when Saban was in Cleveland with Bill Belichick. The star safety is a guy who can play nickel, has the coverage capabilities to an extent, but also is basically a linebacker and a box guy who can stop the run. The reason it's called star is Bill Belichick was looking for a word that started with S, because technically this role is meant to be the Sam linebacker on the field, in the nickel package, essentially. And the reason that versatility is needed is, at least when Nick Saban talked about it in this interview that I read, is in the 2010s when Chip Kelly was running we're going to run spread, we're going to hurry up, get to the line, not allow substitutions. This particular thing, along with, with Will Anderson Jr. being on the team, it feels relevant. The smaller, more agile edges was a way to combat that by keeping personnel that were flexible on the field. So, and that's one of the things that Pitre brings is that flexibility, which is what I think makes him so valuable. And I'd be remiss if I didn't address this. Like, this time last offseason, if this deal had gone down, I, along with a lot of other people, probably would have been irate about it, because I was not super high on Jalen Pitre last offseason. Tom will tell you, if you listen to the bullpen, I know this is 10-minute Texans talk, but, when I talk with Tom has seen the 180 from Jalen Pitre's biggest hater to, yeah, this is what the Texans should do. So, I mean, I've been down on Pitre in the past, and I can see, I'm pretty sure it was Cody Stutes, like I've kind of alluded to early on, did bring up a valid point. There's 12 games roundabout that we saw from Jalen Pitre at this level. Some people wanted to see more before committing that kind of money to this deal. And then to that, I'll say I see the merit in it. I'm more in the camp of this is a good example of the Texans trying out what a lot of other teams, that are successful do, which is locking down the guys that you see as your young core early before they can make their value a little out of your price range when it comes time to extend them. I would hope they approach this with a lot of players just to make sure they can lock down as many guys as they can before CJ ultimately commands the deal that's going to make it a little harder to work around financially. So I do really like the deal for Jalen Pitre, and I think that at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to like it. We can revisit this if he is injury riddled the rest of his time and doesn't live up to the deal, but I mean, I think that's the biggest risk, honestly, is injury, because of the reasons I've outlined just prior to this. Pitre is doing so much for this defense that it's only a matter of time. I wouldn't say it's the exact same thing as Travis Hunter wanting to play both ways in the NFL, but the fact that he is trying to fill two roles on defense at the same time will take its toll on him, especially when he's asked to do a lot of run stuffing. I mean, the other part of it that could devalue this, but honestly, I don't think it does either way, is that Jalen Pitre has not shown like above and beyond in coverage. And if he's just a nickel, that's unacceptable, right? Like signing a nickel and making them the highest paid nickel when they can't cover is one thing, but Pitre is a star safety who mostly plays nickel, and he's not an entire liability in coverage. He's just not the Texans' best cover guy. So with that in mind, the big thing is going to be finding his value in the other parts of the star safety role that he fills, making sure he's a menace at the line of scrimmage. But bringing in CJ Gardner-Johnson is huge. It gives you guaranteed, him and Bullock will start. And then you have Jimmy Ward, who, I mean, honestly is the poster child for the issue that we could see coming in terms of injuries, who plays this role really well as well, who could ultimately end up stepping in. And maybe the school of thought is that if you can split time between Pitre and Ward in that star safety role, that maybe you can preserve their longevity. Though, I mean, I would still expect Pitre to get most of the snaps there. It's a mystery to me what Jimmy Ward's role is on this team, understanding what we know now, unless they just don't view Bullock as the answer right now. Maybe they think he's still developing, but either way, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know. That's a topic for another day. We're talking about Jalen Pitre. Pitre it's a good signing. I like it. I think that there's more that needs to happen to prove that, and I can see why people maybe aren't all in on it, but I like it. That's going to be my final take on it. Thanks for tuning in to this Texas Talk. A little shorter. I mean, we're just talking about Jalen Pitre signing. I like it. It's a good signing. Not much else to say about it. I mean, I guess there was much else to say about it. I just said it all. But if you have something that I didn't cover, you want to, drop a comment. I'll try and address them as they come. Maybe I missed something. Who knows? But yeah, if you want to reach me, I'm at James Roy NFL on all social media. Tom and I are live on Mondays. This Monday we're actually doing we're going to do some mock drafts and post it. It's not going to be a live show. But yeah, so make sure you're following the bullpen. Make sure you follow me on social media. And yeah, all right. As always, stay classy, Houston. And vamos Texans.